Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of my series about data analysis. So, good morning, guys. You might know that I'm working a lot with Metabase, and yesterday they released a new version V59, which actually includes several important updates. Specifically, in terms of new features, we have something quite huge, which is Data Studio. Data Studio provides tool to shape and track your data so everyone can trust the numbers. I'm just checking if I'm online. 1 second. Everyone? So we can start. So what is Data Studio? Actually, usually you have on one side a database. Let's see if I can explain. I can explain quickly. Usually we have a database and metabase. The database contains raw data. It often contains raw data. When you connect this raw data directly to Metabase, you find yourself in the situation of having Metabase not easily usable. Why? Because the tables contains a lot of noise, tables contains unuseful columns, database contains unuseful schemas, unuseful tables. There are rows in a table that are not particularly interesting, and so on and so forth. So often using Metabase directly connected with a database is problematic. So what usually we do, we insert a transformation layer. All right. This transformation layer is not connected to Metabase, but is connected transformation layer, but is connected with the database itself. Actually, it works in this way. Something like this. This transformation layer usually is DBT. In this way, you transform the data, you clean everything you want, and then finally Metabase has access to clean data. What is the problematic is in 95% of the 90% of the cases, this transformation layer requires you to add additional complexity to your data infrastructure. And often this additional complexity is not worth it because using DBT requires specific skills, specific servers, specific repositories, specific code, and so on and so forth. What Metabase has implemented now with Data Studio is basically the opportunity to have a transformation layer directly within Metabase itself. This is quite a massive improvement because, as I said before, now you need only to manage the infrastructure related to Metabase, and inside Metabase you find also the possibility to transform your table professionally. Which is quite a big deal, in my opinion. So what we are going to do today is to explore this new feature of Metabase. And in order to do so, we are going to work on the dataset I created last time about European demography. Now, before starting, let me share my stream on different channels so that someone can join. I will share it here on Facebook. You don't see. Okay, it's done. Thanks for waiting. All right, so how does it work practically speaking? I'm already in the dashboard I created. We have analyzed asylum data by arrivals, by decision, by EU countries, and then we have this empty dashboard dedicated to demography evolution. Now, I've already upgraded my Metabase, so I'm running the latest version. And as you can see, we have on the top right this new icon showing mainly three possibilities. Main app, which is the one we are currently in, the historical app of Metabase. We have the admin with a new icon, and also we have this data studio. Let's try to check. Okay, first thing first, we notice that we have a left panel with some macro areas like library, data structure, glossary, dependency graph, dependency diagnostic, and transform. As you can see, there are a few areas with the icon of a diamond. It means that those specific areas are premium, so we cannot access with the free version of Metabase. Nevertheless, we have the possibility to play with the data structure, glossary, and transform. We cannot set up a Git sync, which is a pity because this would have been extremely useful. But so we need to upgrade to Pro, which makes sense. Then we have a section dedicated to jobs, and we have hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly job. The possibility to create new jobs. And then we have runs. And runs, as you can imagine, will list all the logs dedicated to specific jobs execution. Now, in order to have a run, we need a job. And in order to have a job, we need a transform. And this is probably the most interesting aspect of this new functionality. So first thing first, let's try to have a look about the demographic table we cleaned last time. If I recall correctly, it should be this one. So as you can see, it's quite a simple table in which we have row ID, we have the country, we have the time period, and we have the observation value. If I check also other tables, we have tables dedicated asylum decisions, asylum applications, global terrorism events we haven't touched yet. We have countries, we have age, sex, evolution. Now, let's try to create a simple transformation. Let's call the transformation YouTube analysis. All the transformations created during my YouTube live stream. Okay, here we can see that there is also a Python library to manage transformation. Run Python-based transformation alongside SQL. Wow, this one is quite a cool feature actually. Strange that they put this feature only here. I mean, they could highlight better that there is this functionality. So what I'm going to do, guys, is to add also a list of suggestions I can give to Metabase team. Metabase team suggestions. I want to do it with you. Metabase suggestions about Data Studio. So, first of all, definitely the fact that as we just said, the Python library, the Python library add-on should be more visible to convert better. Eventually, giving also some examples could be useful. In the meantime, I keep exploring the docs. Yeah, usually documentation of Metabase are really good. Okay, this one is an interesting paragraph. Transform versus model. Transfers are similar to models with model persistence turned on, but there are a few crucial differences. Transform can only be created by analysts with transfer permission. Models can be created by anyone with permission to create queries on the data source. Okay. You can choose the target schema and tables for transforms. Model persistent would create its own schema and tables. Transforms support more database. You can use Python to create transform. Okay, in future version of Metabase, model persistence will be deprecated in favor of transform. So don't use models anymore, basically. Okay, how Python transform works? Python executed environment. I would love to. I would love to try this functionality, but that's not the case. Okay, let's try to create our first test transformation. So select. I need to specify the schema. So it's not the table I'm looking for. How is it? No, it's not. There is actually this one. What it means that we are hiding some columns here. I go to admin, I go to database, I enter, no, sorry, I go to table metadata, metabase upload, population, demography. Alright, as you can see, we have more columns than expected. Let me do something just to check we are targeting the correct database or table. Editor, summarize sum of ops value, filter, geo, and OR. We should have the same number. Okay, we are working with the correct dataset. Now, what we mean by transformation? Again, it means that we are cleaning. Transformation means cleaning, merging, enhancing, filtering, enriching, deleting, joining, existing data. So in our case, for example, we could have a single transformation able to add for each geography, for each time period, new columns coming from other tables. This would allow us to be able to analyze or to produce our demographic dashboard without the necessity to have complicated join statement in every query. Let's give it a try. Left join. And here we can start to join stuff. Now, what are we going to join? We need to join those tables in which we have year, for example, and a country, like terrorism. But let's start with something a bit simpler, like this one. Or this one also. This one is the age brackets. Really, really interesting. We have time period, we have geography, we have age brackets, so this is our reference table. This one is the one I'm interested in. Let's left join Metabase upload population migration. On PD PM on pd.geo equals pm.geo and pd.time period equals pm.time period. Okay, this one doesn't exist. Something I like about Metabase is that I can always visualize the data source and the raw query. Okay, we have some type issues. Let's see if I'm able to convert. Ah, stupid. Wow, writing SQL by hand. Ops value is ambiguous for sure. We can have pd dot time period. We can have pd dot geo. We can have sum of pd dot ops value as population demography. Let's call it just population, and then we can have pm dot ops value as asylum applicants. Applications. So theoretically, if I now group by 1 and 2, geo is ambiguous, of course. Okay. Asylum application, 0. So as you can see, in Germany we have a problem because there is something strange with the data. Let's try to understand what is the issue. We see an increase in Germany population, which doesn't make any sense. Filter, geo, Germany. Let's do something. Convert this query into CTA and then aggregate in order to avoid double summing stuff. I will put geo still the same issue. Ah, wait. Okay, this is actually correct. Then let's go and check. Let's go and check for geo Germany. summarize, time period, sum of observation value. Theoretically in 2024 339. Alright, it works really well. Now, what else can we attach? It depends on which column we have. We have these really interesting global terrorism events. I'm not sure if I should involve in this analysis. Probably not. Okay, this one definitely can be an interesting addition with country details as select probably I can do it here. Left join metabase upload dot countries attributes on c dot country equals p dot geo, and finally we have c dot dominant religion as religion, and then we have also p dot region, which is not really interesting here. It is interesting here. Citizen. This one is the citizen. So theoretically this should run. Of course. Right. So here we can have I'm already over engineering everything. We have asylum application. Let's have asylum approval. we have time period where d dot decision equals positive decision of value geo time period right, the table is D, and we can finally left join asylum approval on AA, AA, asylum approvals. So theoretically this should go. I have one A. Alright, let's just check that this one is correct. Summarize, filter geo Germany, filter by decision, positive decision, time period, ops value, sum of. One 16790 65. Wait, is Metabase auto binning don't bin? Okay, looks correct. Then something I wanted to explore is this table here. Is the age-sex evolution. Because let's save. Let's save this model. Ah, nice. So, okay, this one is a really interesting detail about Metabase data studio transformation. We can set a name for our transformation. We can decide in which schema we are going to save this specific transformation, which will produce actually a table. Then we have a table name and then a collection. Collection is transforms. And then we have the possibility of having this incremental transformation. If you don't need to reprocess all the data, incremental transformation can be faster. To use this, your transform definition should have a stable schema. Okay, we don't need this for the moment. Save. So as you can see, we have our first transformation, quite exciting. We can set the target, the owner. Let's try to run it. Okay, run successfully. Now, if we go to runs, we see that we have executed this transformation, starting at ended at status success trigger manual. We can also see a few additional details. Here we can filter stuff. Really interesting. Now, let's close a bit of tabs. Theoretically, if I go now in database, PostgreSQL, Metabase, okay, I made a mistake in the target. Uh, okay, as you can see, this one was something I was curious about. When I change a target, for example, I pass from schema Google Map Scraper to Metabase upload, is asking me, keep the old target table or delete it. This one is really important. And I want to delete the target. So I run it again, run successfully. Runs, I have two I have two transformation runs. Now I refresh. Theoretically, if I go inside Metabase uploads, I can see that I have this transformation, which now is a perfectly fine Metabase dashboard. Okay, a suggestion for Metabase team. Have a different icon to differentiate normal tables from transformation tables. Maybe I can also take a screenshot to clarify. Just 1 second, guys. All right. So this is basically how transformations work. Let's try to improve a bit the definition of this transformation. For sure, I don't want to leave it to Germany. So what I would like to enter, for example, is the grow from the previous year. Can you add an additional column that base partition by year and country? It shows the difference in population from the previous year. Let's see. Put it here. So let's take again Germany. So interestingly enough, we can see how somehow there is a kind of alignment between population delta versus previous year with asylum application. Okay, it's not always the case. So for example, after COVID, something happened, or during COVID, like that many people left Germany at once. The population of Italy seems steadily decreasing. Okay, here the alignment seems back, even though it's not fully precise as Germany. Um, population of Spain is increasing so much. We actually need to know how many people are born and died. Hmm. This is really interesting. So let me check if I have the data set about people dying and people. Does have data set about you countries, new birth and death people by country and year. Okay guys, I quickly go to the toilet. I will be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Now what I need to understand, if I have the strength to load also these datasets. Let's start to delete these things and see. Okay, it's already death and live birth. Let's see how it looks like. I'm just curious, huh? If it's too complex, I abandon the task. How much I hate Excel sheets. Upload. Sostituisci foglie correnti. So these are the birth. And then we have also the death. Okay, now let's do some cleaning. Let's check particular countries we are not interested in. All this stuff we can delete. We have France and metropolitan France. Okay, I delete metropolitan France. There. And then we do the same for the birth. Basically it's the same. Birth indicator, because my idea is to aggregate these two data sets in one, so I have to import only a single one. And let's check the countries. Euro area we delete. We keep metropolitan France just to have a look how it looks like. Alright, all this stuff we can delete. So here we have indicator, and then we have depth. Time period, ops value. Now let's try to give a proper name to this file. To do so, country adaptable, population, birth, death, something like this. Scarica. Something like this. Yeah, naming is so fucking complicated. Now I can go to our YouTube analysis and upload. Create a new model. Alright. Wonderful. Now in our transformation I can also use now also let's add a column. This one we can delete. Add columns related to the table. Which looks like this. I want to know for each country, for each year, amount of birth and death. I mute myself while I eat, guys. Alright, one question I want to ask. As you can see, we have population, death, birth, asylum. Are we consider all categories to explain the change in demographic from one year to the next one? Or are we missing something? And I know that we are missing something for sure. Population change is typically described by the demographic balance equation. Population of the year t minus population t minus 1 births minus rate plus net migration. Exactly. You need net migration. Okay, it seems I need a different data set. I'm not going to import another data set. Is this one what we need? The net migration. Yeah, I think for the purpose of this live stream, I'm going to keep it as it is. How is the situation in Italy? Wow. Let's take, for example, 2023 minus the death plus the births. Okay, so let's call this as the experiment for my transformation. Actually, I can add more stuff. I want to add additional let's divide age brackets in 10 of 10, so 0 to 10 years, 10 years to 20 years, and so on. Give me also a column dedicated to female or male. Today the working space is full. So as you can see, this transformation model is becoming more and more complex. Let's see if it works. Nope. I need always to specify that I'm using PostgreSQL. Okay. Everything is empty, so probably the join is not working, right? Let's see how the join is actually done. Okay, this one is not necessary. At least I try to. Okay. I do not want a single column showing both males or females. I want a column dedicated to male or females. So different columns, because my rows are simply partitioning by geo and year. Of course, I don't want population in brackets. I know I need the population in brackets. Same for popul. Give me a dedicated column for each bucket, like 0, 10. So right. I need to explain multiple times. It's not a big deal, but sometimes it's annoying to having to double explain. Right. Okay. Probably we have it. So as you can see, the model is really growing a lot. Exactly. I'm asking ChatGPT to read the same query multiple times. It's fine. Let's give it a try, guys. I don't like that we have so many columns. Maybe we can reduce slightly the 40, 59, 60, 79, and then we have 80 plus. But still we miss. Damn it. Okay. I still have this stupid geo. Where is this coming from? Pop. It's coming from here. Population, demography. I'm going to connect to the database and delete these three values here. Um, delete from that table the values selected. Okay. So theoretically now, if I refresh, Those values should not be there anymore. Wow, writing queries here. But theoretically it should be done already. Okay, they are gone. Why they are still here? What if I run this job here? Still here. Where is this coming from? Damn it. Let's check one by one. Still here. This should go. Sorry, I need to have sublime text. I found the problem. Okay. Okay, it's gone. Now, I don't like the query definition. Um, demography, and asylum details. Really cool that I can I can delete all the transformation we have runs, we have jobs, we have our transformation. I can run now. And voila, our beautiful data set. We are still missing a female male. See? I reply to a WhatsApp message. I'll be right back. Let's give it a try. Okay, female. Alright, finally. I want female male to be before. Let's put the asylum applicants at the end. Then I can run now. I can add the tags. This is a test, beautiful, that I can really cool the possibility to run tags. Would be amazing to have a similar logs for runs, not only for transformation but also for queries and dashboards. Wait, I know that this is possible in the admin. Oh God. This must be tried for sure. So if I run, no, exactly. Okay, I think now we can create some cool visualization finally. So for example, something we can do now is to have summarize by geo um, some birth, some of death. We could give to bird green, mistake, I don't want to geo, but I want to have a time period without binned. It's insane to see these statistics at a continental scale. Okay, this is just an example, of course. Yeah, this one is really powerful. Yeah, there is a demographic crisis for sure. In less than 10 years, we halved the amount of birds. Let's see the total population. Somehow I would expect it to go hand in hand. We have less birds. Okay, I see some similarities. So let me do something. In 10 years, we have lost 300 million people. Is it even possible? This should be an interesting one. Maybe I can give what are these colors? Exactly the same. No, they are slightly different. This one is another interesting chart. I would rather put it a bit on top of it. Can I sort the legend? How is the legend sorted here? Never mind. I don't see how I can insert actually any information about asylum applicants. Okay guys, I'm going to call it for today. I'm streaming since 2 hours and it's enough. As always, I will make this dashboard free and I will give suggestions to Metabase team. Anything else I could add? What happened when I create a transformation with the query builder? I can move here, amazing. What if I delete? I see that when I try to delete a transformation, so is there a way to delete also the created tables of a transformation? Is add the description. So actually this part replaces somehow the admin panel table metadata section, because it looks kind of similar. Table metadata, Metabase upload. If I save here, nice. Sync options. Yeah, Metabase is becoming so fucking powerful, guys. Sorry the bad words, but nice. Anything else I can add to the guys? Okay, guys, that's it for today, and I will keep going because personally it's a really interesting exercise. It keeps me focused and it helps me to sharpen my data skill. At the same time, I gain knowledge about European data. So overall, it's a nice experience. A couple of hours per week um, are definitely well spent. Thank you so much, and goodbye.